Hey guys, welcome back to another review for One Piece chapter 1159 called The Island of Destiny. Man, there is so many more questions, so many implications. Freaking little kitty here just can't let me finish. So many implications, so many questions. First of all, we get confirmation that we're going to go through the chapter, but we get confirmation that Davy is not the initial for D. Well, thankfully, so it's Davy D something. That's the lineage. Then we might get revelation that Shanks, well, my estimate, no, nobody has said it so far, but my thought process is maybe Shanks and Shamrock could possibly, potentially be D clan members or Davy lineage. Maybe. Okay, so let's go through the chapter. Let's bring those thoughts and let's continue. So yeah, they get confirmation that somebody took Shaki. We don't know who, although we do know it was Wang Ji because he's counting money for some reason, and it must have been really difficult to sneak in there without them knowing and defeating somebody else. We don't know who took Shaki, but Rox gets confirmation, or like they realize in the newspaper, that Shaki's gone. The whole world stops for weeks because of the Empress being kidnapped, or not even Empress. The Shaki, the old Kuja Empress, is kidnapped. The whole world stops. This movement, this pull, this power is insane for the Empresses, okay? For the Kuja pirates. But, and then I have my cat here just chilling completely, just just chilling on me while I'm doing this review. But yeah, we have Garling, and I expect nothing less from my man's the goat, Garling, one of the celestial dragon goats, because maybe not the goat, because Zebek is honestly the goat this chapter. I love Zebek. I don't know how my man's turns 180 and they have to like murder him, because he eludes that in this chapter, right? Garling, Celestial Dragon. I can't. Like, this guy is scum, okay? Like, you thought Harold was scum. No, this guy is actually scum. So he has children with this mother. We don't know who she is. And I don't think this is kind of how Oda is treating the mothers. You don't really need to know who the mom is. He kind of just deals with it. And he doesn't even show her face ever. And she is saying, oh, you're back. I knew you would be back. Now we can be a family, or what, you could stay here. And Garling's like, he didn't even react. He is just so nonchalant, saying, oh yeah, no, I'm never gonna live here. I would not even remotely think about living here. This island's actually gonna be gone in not a few days, but he's like, yeah, this island's actually gonna be gone. And she's like, what are you talking? And he just stabs her. He just has kids, and he stabs her. How many kids I wonder how many kids he would have ever produced this casually. But we have Shamrock and Shanks. They're not celestial dragons, I think. We don't know the name, but I am assuming this is a regular woman he has kids with. And he announces the tournament. And we don't know what happens to the kids. I'm just like, okay, but first of all, who's the mom? What's the mom's name? We don't know who they are, but it could be that she is a D clan member. We don't know. But it would be really interesting if he would have a D clan member name. Wouldn't it? I don't know. Anyway, obviously a D clan member would not be, because Shamrock's up there, he would not be all up there. But maybe Shamrock's is, and the mom was a D clan member, because we find out at the end of the chapter that this is the Davy lineage, and we get more talks from Zebek by it. So they're cleaning up. They're around all the Navy surround the island. They're cleaning up, and they're tranquilizing people. And then you realize why it is that they're not killing everybody. It's because they're gonna do that manhunt game for the celestial dragons. And there's one person speaking up like, why are we doing this? What's this training for? And we get revealed that yes, the theories are correct. Dragon used to be a marine recruit. He's basically brand new here. We don't know how strong he is, but he's using a gun. Really odd. And we have how we see young Dragon. And it's so funny how he looks like Gear 4th Luffy with the hairstyle. It's so, the resemblance is there. I love how you can have somebody look like that in real in present time, and how they look in the past. 17-year-old Dragon. And I'm not expecting any feats, any strength feats. He does have some tattoo on his arm that it ends up being on his face. We don't know what the tattoo is, but I'm not expecting any strength feats. I'm not expecting him to know armament hockey. Maybe armament hockey, like maybe. I'm not saying no. But remember that Luffy started at 17, and he was able to take down. Luffy was on a goated run. He was on a god roll run, right? But it's kind of when he started, and he also started as weak as defeating Arlong, and really weak pirates. This could be brand new into training Dragon, right? So let's keep going, because I actually didn't erase the space on my memory card, but I didn't want to make it that long anyway. We have Dragon cleaning up, and he says, oh, he's trying to be a pacifist. He doesn't want to kill citizens. He's like, as long as we're using tranquilizers, I'm okay with it. And, fine. We have Ginny and the slaves. They send out their message. Now everybody gets word of when the tournament's going to start. And actually, it's going to start really soon, because everybody's rushing to get there. We have young Morgans who's starting the newspaper and news business. It's awesome. We get a little revelation there. Everybody gets word. Wang Ji has got a sour face, like, who said that? Who said Shaki's still alive? So yeah, it's Wang Ji who ratted it out. And Rock said immediately, this is his territory. They came in, they invaded, they did all this. We're gonna take Shaki back. We're getting Shaki back. And Big Mom says through the list, I don't care about Shaki. I care more about these devil fruits. This devil fruit actually would do great for my kid. And some translations are saying kids. So maybe she does end up getting a multiple devil fruits, but we do know that she is already thinking about a devil fruit for most likely Katakuri, and this is probably where he gets the Mochi Mochi fruit. So just a little background there, which is awesome. And Rox is ready to roll. Roger gets the message, intercepts the message, I think, right? It's passed around. He intercepts or gets the message, I want to say, and everybody's ready to go. And then, of course, Garp hears that Roger's going. He's ready to go and defend whatever the Celestial Dragons are doing, which this might be the moment that Garp realizes they're bad. So he's kind of doing this blindly at the defense, like, I'm chasing Roger. I got to defend the world government's pride. I got to do this and do right. So he's ready to fight Roger and defend the world government here, but he might not know these Celestial Dragons. Who are these Holy Knights? Maybe he does know the Holy Knights, but not more than what the Holy Knights are, which is just like Marijois guards, right? But this manhunt is just so twisted. This slave protection and Roger's slave protection, like, Zebek has to do something gnarly he has to be killing Celestial Dragons to the point that it's massacring them, almost killing Garling or something, that Roger and Garp have to stop him by killing him. Like, he is executed. Like, the Celestial Dragons are saying execute him right now, and Garp just has to do it. I don't know. It's just insane. Like, the twist, the 180, because Zebek is goddamn awesome. I can't imagine him having to be killed for what he's doing, except he might be doing the most to get rid of Emu or something like that, like bring Emu in, and then Emu comes in and he wipes everything, or he kills him straight up. So Zebek and Harold meet because Harold is intercepting any ship that's approaching the island. And we have a talk between them. And he talks, he's like, get out the way, but let's have a chat. Let's sit down and have a drink, Harold. And he tells him this, and this is how highly he thinks of Harold and brings him up there and respects Harold and enough to give him this, like, Garp and Roger. This is a Garp and Roger level moment. Take care of my child. This is, hey, take care of my child. And Harold takes an L, man. He says, I can't help you. I can't do it. Harold has lost so many points for me that he is just, why? I don't like Harold right now. I don't like the twist he is doing to just succumb to being part of the world government. He gave you a moment of help me with my children, help me protect my children, help me protect my wife and child, and he said, I can't do it. That's a huge L for me, man. But, I keep saying but, because I'm reading the chapter, my bad. He tells him that in honesty, in what's the word? In all truthfulness, he says, my name is not Rox, it's Davy D. Zebek. I'm part of the lineage of Davy Jones, right? The world government's trying to erase that name. And his ancestor was none other than the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. So D doesn't stand for Davy Jones, revealed right there. And he says something about that's why they impose our influence in the world of darkness. So I think this is one of those things he needed. He needed that darkness devil fruit, and he couldn't get it, which is something he left to his son. And his son did end up getting it, but he says, I can't. Why would you tell me this weakness? And the weakness is that it's in God Valley. I have to get to God Valley. And he says, no. He tells him, give me a hand. Everything is against me. I have fate pulling me back to this island. Give me a hand. And he said, I will not invite you again. And he kind of just breaks the rule and he says, give me a hand. Which hurts me, like, to my soul. Family, man. I want to protect my family. If my wife and child can get away safely, that is enough for me, which is just like, it's insane, and he will sacrifice himself as long as his family and kid are safe. And he gives a sour face, like Harold gives a sour face saying, I refuse, I'll end you here and now. And Rox, I think, pretty easily solos him because the ship is on fire and he's heading to, he says, you coward, so maybe he like planted explosives or turned something on fire, and he goes straight to God Valley. So he didn't waste any time with Harold here. So I don't know what he did, but I feel like he did a cheap shot. Or Harold kind of just bent and he said, I can't help you, but I'm also not going to hold you back. And something went on fire. And the last panel here, I want to talk before my memory runs out. We have the announcement. We continue in God's Valley. The announcement of the prize being Shakuyaku, Shaki. And I find it funny how Somers is like, I'm not going to make her my wife. I'm just going to have her as a slave. He doesn't even care if she's the empress. And no, Garling is like, this is going to be my wife. My wife. And Dragon enters a house, and we have revealed that this is not revealed. We see that Dragon followed a blood trail, and it's probably Shanks' mom, because that's the only person we know who has blood, saying, please get my children off this island, which is probably Dragon who gives one of them to Roger or something. He finds them in a treasure chest. So this is, we're seeing how it lines up, how he finds Shanks in a treasure chest. Something like that. We're getting like revelations here. We're getting answers finally. And another panel completely separately, because the kid are in shackles and the mom too. This is baby 2-year-old Marshall D. Teach. You have to survive. You have to survive. And the last panel is saying the Davy family has finally been revealed. So this is the secret that would please Emu. The Davy family was revealed. So God's Valley might be a place where there is an abundance of D clan members, or more directly, the Davy lineage. So Zebek knows so much. There must be some history there. And this also maybe gets revealed why Dragon is a revolutionary. There's just so much malice in this event. Why would you still be a Marine after this? It just throws me off. Why is Garp still a slave protector? It throws me off. Dragon saw the one whiff of this and he's like, I'm going to be a revolutionary. But this is probably why he has such a high bounty, because my man's just saved Zebek lineage, the lineage of Zebek, a Davy lineage. He might not even be strong, which is the funny part. He might just be the most wanted man in the world because he saved Zebek's kid. That's probably what it is, because remember, Saturn said, I know his lineage. We know his lineage. So it might just be that my man's Dragons is a fraud and he's not actually that strong. But Garp is really strong and Luffy is really strong. You think this man is supposed to be somewhere in between or even stronger than Garp here. Or in his prime at Garp level. I have 2 minutes left. Shanks might be a D-Clan member, which is awesome. Freaking awesome. Maybe not. And Zebek, I don't know what they do to Zebek to make him turn 180. No break next week, I think, which is awesome. Other than that, let me think. I hope we continue with the God's Valley. We're right there. We're right there at where they're finally going to intersect and fight. And other than that, it's just to not make the video too long, guys. Like always, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Leave me any comments, anything you want me to talk about. I'm going to start making some shorts on opening some Pokemon and One Piece cards, just to be in, just to create more stuff to watch. And I'll see you for the next one.